Fall is just around the corner, which not only means cooler temperatures and pumpkin everything.
Pumpkin spice everything.
Pumpkin spice everything, oh man. But a whole new season of shows to stream.
Some new releases worth relaxing on your couch for include a thriller reuniting Jonah Hill and Emma Stone on screen, a documentary on a music industry legend, and a comedy series about a father and son cop duo. So here with what we should be watching is Krutika Mallikarjuna. She is a senior editor at TV Guide.
Hi.
So, hello. So we're going to start with a miniseries on Netflix. It's about an unusual drug trial. Okay, let's watch a little bit of it.
Do you know where you are right now?
I'm in a drug trial.
What do you think is wrong with you?
I'm sick. But I don't matter.
What would you say this trial is showing you about yourself?
Is this therapy now?
It's not therapy. It's science.
What is going on?
I know that that promo wasn't very clear.
No.
But Maniac is a really interesting show. If you're a big fan of experimental stuff like Random Acts of Flyness or Fargo, Legion, Maniac is definitely going to be the show for you this weekend. It's like sort of a retro future show where it's set in the future, but in a visual aesthetic of like what the 80s thought the future was going to be.
Oh, that's so cool.
So is it a comedy?
No. It's more of a, it really defies all genres.
Okay.
Oh,
Basically, what happens is Emma Stone and Jonah Hill are two people invested in this experimental drug trial, and the drug is supposed to help you clean your subconscious, which means they essentially end up in a dreamscape and they have to like battle their own demons, but each dreamscape is like a different genre, and it sounds like it could be hokey, but it's actually just a visual feast.
No, it sounds really good. Doesn't it sound good?
Sounds really good. Yeah.
But and I will say, like, if you're not the kind of person who normally is into these shows and you're like, I don't want to spend 8 episodes like guessing what's real and what's not, this is the least Inception-like show of all of these shows.
Oh, that's good.
Like, it definitely puts the emotional storyline first and not the mystery, which is something I really appreciated about Maniac.
I don't need another Lost or another Inception or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so let's talk about The Good Cop, which tells the story of a father and a son who are both cops. Take a look.
All right, let's go, people.
Already, I think the Vic is a pretty big fish.
Serrato Hollow Point. Second one today.
Lieutenant, you're gonna want to see this.
How you doing, guys? What's happening? Hey, son of mine.
Dad.
How's it going?
You can't bring a civilian to an active crime scene.
Come on, son. I mean, she's not exactly a civilian. I'm Tony Caruso.
All right,
So who's the good cop? Is there a bad cop?
Also, Tony Danza.
Tony Danza, sitcom veteran, returning to, of all things, a streaming platform to do what he does best. Tony Danza is Big Tony, and he is a corrupt police officer who like just got out of prison for corruption charges, and he's like at sort of loose ends, and he's trying to reunite with his son, Josh Groban, Tony Jr., which is shortened to TJ, and you know, they're solving crimes and like.
But the dad's not back on the force.
No. He's like consulting and like being a busybody. You know what I mean?
Okay, right.
Josh Groban is so straight-laced because of, you know, this like dishonor on his family, and it's a very like odd couple kind of scenario, and I'm just kind of fascinated with the show because this is the show that would have been on broadcast. Like, this is like a classic broadcast format, like true kind of core sitcom stuff, and it's unusual to see it on Netflix when, you know, the last thing I just recommended is basically experimental filmmaking.
Right.
But they're really trying to.
Did you like it?
I did. I really enjoyed The Good Cop. Josh Groban is very funny. Tony Danza and him have great chemistry, and it's really interesting to see Netflix take a swing at like a wide audience type of show.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, always good for a documentary with Netflix. So we have a documentary about Quincy Jones.
Gotta love it.
Let's watch a little bit of it.
I would like to have you meet one of the finest musicians that I've ever known, Mr. Quincy Jones.
Pressure's on. Quincy's here.
What a great treat.
How you been, man?
I've been good.
My ultimate mentor and inspiration.
Oh, making me sound old.
So this documentary is made by his daughter. I'm very curious because we all remember not too long ago Quincy Jones made a splash with it was a GQ interview, right?
Yeah.
Where he said all kinds of things like he had dated Ivanka Trump, and it was like, and we were like, what happened to Quincy?
I particularly enjoyed the Vulture follow-up where he was like, the Beatles, mediocre.
Yeah, right.
Right. So
One person who could say that.
Which Quincy are we getting in this documentary?
We're kind of getting all of the above. I mean, it's really interesting because it's a documentary, but it's made by Rashida Jones and Alan Hanks, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's obviously not objective, you know? So, like, you just have to keep that in mind going in. But the trade-off for that is for knowing that the documentary is going to be, like, pro Quincy and like portrays him in a great light, is that we get all these intimate moments that another filmmaker would never have access to. So you get a lot of like sweet, sad, contemplative Quincy that I think will surprise a lot of people who know him as like, you know, this kind of iconic legend with all these like wild rock and roll stories.
Super
and stuff.
cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. And yes, with that caveat that it is skewed towards, you know, a little bit of a propaganda thing. But yeah, that's okay.
All right.
It's all right. Krutika, always good to have you. See you next week.
Thank you.
All right.